success in Nigeria. She's ready to scale this program across Africa to help bring digital and technical skills to women across Africa. This is a much needed set of skills to help enhance careers and livelihoods, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Deborah, and I work with Tech for Dev. So I'd like to tell you a story about a young lady called Fatima Ahmed. Fatima is one of the beneficiaries of the Women Techsters program, and she's come from an underserved community in Ilorin in Nigeria. Fatima looked for a job for a really long time and stumbled on the Women Techsters program through a friend of ours. She went through our 2-week training program, and at the end of the training, she was able to get an internship placement as a front-end developer with a top software company in Lagos. 3 weeks into the internship, Fatima did get selected into the Microsoft Leap Engineering program, which is Microsoft's commitment towards building women software engineers in Nigeria and in Africa. There are a lot of women out there who want to be just like Fatima, but do not have access to the requisite skills to do so. And this is because there's a huge gender gap between men and women in the technology ecosystem in Nigeria and across Africa. As you can see behind me, for every 10 people in technology in Nigeria and Africa, 9 are men and 1 is a woman. So the Women Techsters program was actually born out of the need to bridge the digital divide between men and women in the technology ecosystem. Our mission is further strengthened by an African proverb that says, if you educate a man, you educate an individual. But if you educate a woman, you educate a nation. Yeah, thank you. So women play a very vital role in economic development, and we think it's very important to provide them access to such opportunities. So talking a bit about the Women Techsters program, the Women Techsters is an experiential learning program for women within the ages of 16 to 40, teaching them digital and deep tech skills across 5 tracks: web and mobile development, games development, Internet of Things, data science, and artificial intelligence. And we did this with 3 objectives in mind. We wanted the women to get access to jobs. We wanted them to study STEM at a more advanced level, and we wanted them to actually go start up their own technology businesses. So we did a pilot called the Nigerian Women Techsters, which was done in Nigeria, and we had tremendous results. We've trained over 2,475 women across 12 communities in 12 states in Nigeria, and 25% of them are currently in a STEM-related course right now in universities and advanced level. 70% of them have started careers in STEM, and 5% of them are starting their own businesses at sort of like an MVP level. Here are some of the partners that made this possible for us: Microsoft, GIZ, and some of the state governments in Nigeria. And so I know a big question in people's minds are, how many more Fatimas can we train? Are there job opportunities for them out there? I would say a big yes. According to the IFC, by 2030, 230 million jobs in sub-Saharan Africa will require digital skills. And hence the reason why we have this ambitious goal where we're going to train 5 million women by 2030 across Africa. So what do we need to get to where we're going? Partners, partners, partners. We need financial partners who could support our learning delivery. We need technology and infrastructure partners such as partners with connectivity that could provide us innovation hubs, corporate partners, and among others. And we also need learning delivery partners that could help us strengthen our curriculum and provide some sort of mentorship for our women. You could follow us, our progress and our work at our website and our social media handles, and we do hope that you help us to be able to get women a place in the future of work. Thank you.
Okay, if our acceleration partners could please join us on stage. Thank you, Deborah. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah. My name is Ashit Patel, and I work with Salesforce, where we believe that the business of business is to improve the state of the world. What you're doing is amazing because, as we all know, that a key driver of GDP is a very vibrant, strong, skilled women in workforce. And that's what you enable at scale and with high, very low cost. You've proven that in Nigeria, and as you guys reach out across the African continent and beyond, I'm looking forward to seeing how you guys develop the tech partnership as well as corporate partnerships to make that happen, and would like to hear more thoughts from you on that.
Okay, so thank you. We're looking to the kind of a bit of partnerships that we're working on in terms of technical partnerships. We're looking for learning delivery, like I said earlier, learning delivery partners. We're looking to strengthen our curriculum. So we're looking for some sort of like organizations that have content. So we're looking towards like building like a larger platform where we can aggregate content for the women to actually go on in their learning phase, to actually go learn more on the platform. So it's one thing to come to the program for 2 weeks. It's another thing because this is a lifelong journey, and it's important that there are access to resources for them to be able to go ahead and do this. So that's very important to us. Then the mentorship as well for the women, it's very, very important to us. We're looking for organizations who are passionate about women and their development and can serve as some sort of like role models to these women. Because one of the surveys that we did personally, one of the major reasons why the women said they were not interested in technology was because most of the role models, right, are male. So we're looking at a situation where we could have more women who could come into the program and show them the girl power and say, you can do this, right? You can become who you want to become, and these opportunities out there exist for you. Thank you.
I'm Radhika Shah, representing the SDG Philanthropy Platform, which is a global platform launched in 8 countries, bringing government, UN, and philanthropy together. I want to applaud the work of women Techsters in Nigeria, making technology education an equalizer so that we can achieve SDG 5, especially at this moment when we have transformational leaders like the Deputy Secretary General, also from Nigeria, Amina Mohammed, transforming the world. It's exciting to see how you're creating so many others like her. My question is, how can we, the SDG Philanthropy Platform, help with partnerships with UN, government, philanthropy? How could we add value?
So we're basically looking for, like I said, like partners. So we're looking more at, for example, within the UN, for example, would be like the UN women. We're also looking at the UNDP. We're also looking at the ITU. They will be like very important partners for us to onboard, for us to be able to sort of scale our work. We're also looking for like our government partnerships because we understand the critical role of advocacy and the critical role of having government support behind you. You're able to go further in terms of implementing the program that way. So those kind of partnerships will be very critical to us and will be helpful.
Dura, what you're doing is amazing. And you know, empowering women drive the economy of the African continent, and that's the reality that we need to face. And I really want to know how can I, from Startup Bootcamp, sorry everyone, my name is Matabani from Startup Bootcamp. I really want to know how we can partner together with you to take women, put them in jobs, and accelerate the technology landscape and innovation landscape across the continent.
Okay, so in terms of the jobs bit, it's for us it's quite important that the women are able to, you know, get into some level of like, how do I put it? So get them into the kind of jobs that are quite important for them in terms of the learning tracks that we had mentioned. So in terms of the entrepreneurship bit, we're looking more for our like your organization, like innovation hubs that can assist us with mentorship and funding for the women who want to go into the entrepreneurial track. Very important for them, such that they can continue with what it is that they've started out. Quite a number of them, like I said, are already at some level of MVP. They are now currently looking for some level of funding to advance the work that they do. So it's very important to us if we can get like access to sort of like innovation hubs that can help us achieve those goals.
All right. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, good evening, probably good morning from anywhere you're joining us from. My name is Usman Gafar, and I'm a digital media associate here at Tech for Dev. Yes, so today we are here to discuss further on the status of the application. I know a lot of us have received emails regarding our application. I mean, we've received maybe congratulatory email. I know we have like three categories of emails that we sent out, and I know a lot of us have a lot of questions to ask. You've seen that you have to do an assessment. There's a lot of things, and you're probably confused right now as regards the next step. And that's why we are hosting this info session, just to ensure that you are ready and you are set for the next stage of the application. I'm sure a lot of us joined earlier, and we watched the video. That was our executive director Oladura Oladepo, presenting, and they look at all the perks rather that you'll be getting as a fellow. Over time, a lot of those things have changed, and you have even better opportunities and amazing things that you get as a fellow of the Women Techsters Fellowship. I'm just going to go ahead and introduce my colleague, Tony Oladeji. She's a programs associate, for here at Tech for Dev, and she leads the, Women Techsters Fellowship. Once you get into the fellowship, you're going to see her, very often. Just, you can start getting familiar with her now, and saying hi to her, and So, hi, Oluwatoyin. You want to say something?
Hi, Usman. Good afternoon. Over here in Nigeria. So good morning, good evening from wherever it is you're joining us from. Like Usman had said earlier, congratulations to each and everyone that made it to the second stage of the fellowship application. I mean, the first stage was really intense in terms of having to put out a video, right? I know a lot of people struggle with doing that, but here you are, you did it, you made it, yay! So congratulations to you all. It's been a journey, and it's still going to be a journey because we have two more steps to go, right? So like Usman said, we're here to answer questions that you would most likely have regarding this second stage, and maybe just a little bit question about the final stage, and also share some light in any way that we can. So yeah, congratulations once again to everyone who made it.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much, Toyi, for that wonderful introduction. So, getting into it, I am aware that we have three categories of people that got emails. I know that there are some people who expressly got like a next stage email. I know there were some people who got emails to resend their motivation video, and I know some people who were disqualified in the first stage. So can you just sort of like explain those levels? I know that a lot of them are on this call, and okay, yeah, just explain those those three categories of people so that they are aware of where they are, and yeah.
Yeah, sure. So like you had said, we had three categories of emails sent out. The first being those who were sent immediately to the second stage, right? That's those who meet all the requirements that we had laid out. And so we're pleased with the application, and then they moved straight up to the second stage, which is the assessment stage. And then we had a group of people in which, had not turned in videos. When we checked some video link, we found out that they were on private. Those that use Google Drive did not share an accessible link, right? So we could not access their videos. But what was interesting was the fact that we had seen potentials in their essays, right? I know a couple of people would be wondering, oh, I did submit a video and you didn't reach out to me. Well, you have to have showed potential in your essays for us to be, willing to go the extra mile to request that you share your videos again. So when we saw potentials in some of those essays that we had, we were like, you know what, we understand technical glitches can happen. Anxiety might have made you submitted the link in a rush to beat the application time. So we reached out, and then we had told them that the deadline was yesterday, to turn in their videos. So of course, a couple of people responded to that email and immediately made the corrections to their videos and all of that. And then we sent out emails to them yesterday also, just informing them if after reviewing your video, you're moving on to the second stage or if not. So, yes, I believe that everybody that is on the call today are people who have, received feedback from the videos that they sent in over the past 2 days, over the past 3 days, because we gave them 72 hours to do that. So yeah, so we had sent back feedback emails to them, and we had let them know that okay, if you're moving to the second stage, and if we'll not be proceeding with your application. And for the third category of people who we had to disqualify, aside from the fact that we do have, as much as we would love to train everybody that we received the application from, as much as we would have loved to impact, the all the women that had applied, we do not have enough resources to cater for all those applicants, right? So we do have a number target that we're looking at. So based off our qualifications, we had to let go of some people. And like we said in our emails, some of them really had impressive, qualifications, but everybody cannot make it, right? Yeah. So those were the three categories. But at this stage now, we do not have any category. All of them now are meeting together at the second stage, and it was important to round up that stage because of the assessment, right? Usman, we can't hear you. I think your mic is muted.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, great. So I mean, those are the categories, and I'm sure that is cleared now, because actually a lot of people coming to say, oh, I got the mail, I was asked to send my video again, blah blah blah, and all of that. But the reason is that sometimes most people, excuse me, some of you sent your video, however, the link to your video, however, it was private, we can't access it. So even if you give us the link to the video, we will not be able to check them. Well, because we found out that you have like potentials with your your essays and some of the questions that we have asked. So that's why we are saying, okay, you have the opportunity to resend your video, and I'm sure that has already closed
Yeah.
yesterday. Yeah. So and those who had already resent their video, we're currently reviewing as well, and they will get a
We're
mail
done the
from us.
reviewing.
Yeah. In fact,
You can check your emails. Yeah,
great.
we sent out
Okay.
emails, so you
Okay.
can ensure you check your
Okay.
spam, your
Yeah,
junk.
because the
You know.
process is going very fast, and we don't want to. Yeah. Yeah, so it's very important that while you are on this process, you check your email every day. Like every morning, you try to just open your email and check it. You check your spam, check your folder, your spam folder, your junk folder, your inbox. Check them. It's very possible that some of our emails are getting to your spam folder. Please ensure you check all possible folders in your email box, right? So to get them, and yeah, that's very important that we do. So I just wanted to ask, for now, the application process is now, we're on the second stage of application. What what is expected of the applicants in terms of, I know that we've sent out emails that regarding their assessment. So what is this assessment about? What are they supposed to look out for? I know some people are already asking, oh, is there like a past question for me to go over to prepare for the assessment. So what do they need? What applicant needs to be able to thrive and be successful in this next stage of application? Because as much as we can't take everybody, we are not very rigid in terms of ensuring that everybody is cut off. No, that's not the point. That's not the plan, and that's not why we are here. That's not why we are doing what we are doing. We want to have excellent application, and trust me, we received amazing applications. While we were reviewing the application, and it will be a shocker to you that all applications were reviewed one after the other. Like it was not some sort of like AI that reviewed the application. Your applications were reviewed by a human, and all applications were reviewed one after another, just because we want to ensure that we are bringing in the right persons into the Moment Techsters Fellowship program. Yeah, so over to you, Olatoyin. What next step? What is it about, and what should they look out for?
Okay, thank you so much, Usman. So as we had mentioned in our emails to everyone that successfully moved to the second stage, this stage is called technical assessment stage. And basically, applicants are expected to take a compulsory test in their most preferred learning track. We had asked that they select their most preferred and then their second choice learning track. So this stage, that's what we'll be doing. You take a compulsory test in that most preferred learning track. However, because we do know that the aim of the program is to build your skill in this learning track, so the questions are really foundational knowledge. And then we'll also be testing applicants' knowledge in basic digital skills. Now, one of the questions in the applications had said that, do you have, basic digital skills, right? How would you rate it? And we had taken note of what your responses were in terms of um, your familiarity with using a laptop, because it's a virtual program, right? So it's important that applicants are, familiar with interacting with devices and all of that. So that's basically what we're testing. Foundational knowledge in your most preferred learning track. When we read some essays, people said they were so passionate about this learning track and, they wanted to build their skills on it. So we believe that your passion should have led you to, take at least a few crash courses here and there, right? So that's what we're testing to see, your knowledge on your foundational knowledge on your most preferred learning track, and also your general basic digital knowledge. So it's an assessment test in summary.
All right. Yeah. So it's an assessment test, as I've read, and you would what we'll be doing in the second stage, as Tonya said, is you would be taking assessment, basic digital literacy, and also on your most preferred learning track. So the smart thing to do right now is to ensure that you go online. I mean, as a potential fellow, it is expected that you have basic knowledge in whatever learning track you're applying for, right? So go online and just read about what you're applying for. If you started in this learning track before, your prerequisite knowledge is going to help you with this. But it's very important that you apply. You should also go over your basic digital skills. I mean, you might think those little things are some of the things that brings us, that helps, that doesn't make us meet some of these applications. So you need to go over it as well. Your basic digital literacy skills. Maybe Microsoft Word, maybe Excel, and then computer, and all of those things. What do you need to do? How to save? Maybe Control S. I'm just Control A, Control all of those. I'm just explore, practice as much as you can, and yeah, the sky is going to be your limit, and we'll be expecting you in the next stage of the application, which is the interview, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
which is the interview. So someone is asking. So at this stage, we can start sending our questions so we could begin to
Yeah.
answer them,
That's the question.
because that's basically everything about the second stage application. However, when is this? When is the application? When is the assessment holding? And does it have a time frame?
Okay. Yeah. So the assessment is scheduled to hold on Saturday, and it's a time-based assessment, so you have 30 minutes to take it. However, we'll be giving a time window, right? And we'll be announcing that time window in our emails to you. So the assessment is 30 minutes. However, you would have like a time frame to take it. It can be 6-hour window, it can be a 3-hour window, it can be a 5-hour window. We would clarify in the email to you how long the assessment will be open for, but you do have 30 minutes to take the assessment. Yeah. On
Okay.
Saturday.
On Saturday, please. Saturday, when Saturday can be, there are lots of Saturdays before the end of the month. Yes.
This
So are you
coming
talking
Saturday,
about?
of course.
So that's the
Yes,
22nd,
on
22nd
22nd
of
July.
July,
Yeah,
2023.
2023.
22nd of
Yes,
July 2023. So,
23.
are we sending a follow? Are we sending a follow-up email that will contain how to take the test link, how to take the
Yes,
test, and all of that?
yes,
Okay.
most definitely.
When are they expected to get this email so they look out for it?
Okay, yes. So I'll just backtrack a little bit. So I'm sure most people can relate to what I'm about to say on the call here. So we had asked people to confirm their most preferred learning track and their second most preferred learning track, right? This is because your assessment is going to be on your most preferred learning track. So that form closes tomorrow, 20th of July 2023. So once you do that, we'll be sending you an email on still tomorrow, right? So that you are able to, have your links ready ahead of Saturday. So we'll send out the emails containing the assessment link tomorrow, and also a reminder on Friday, 21st July. So you get the first email tomorrow, 20th July, and then a reminder email 21st July for you to take the test on 22nd July. So what is most important is that you make a decision on your most preferred learning track and your second most preferred learning track, and ensure you fill out the form. If you don't fill out the form, we still have your initial application record, right? The learning track that you have chosen, in hierarchy. So we'll just go with what is still what you chose initially in the initial application. So as touching selecting your most preferred and second most preferred, we'll be sending out a reminder email today again, just so that you are able to complete that form before it closes tomorrow. And so once we do that, you get the first email from us tomorrow with the assessment links, the time for the assessment, the time window, instructions on how to take it, and then a reminder email on Friday, and then you can then take your assessment on Saturday.
Amazing. So what you're saying now is everyone who made it to the second stage, I've gotten a mail asking them to choose their learning track,
Most
their
preferred.
two most preferred learning tracks, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So
Most
someone is
preferred and
asking.
second
So
most preferred.
someone is asking, what if I choose a different learning track from the confirmation email
Initial
sent?
application.
Like
Okay.
I've already applied. For example, I applied for product design, and over the past 1 month that I submitted my application, and I got into the second stage of application. But now I've been given the opportunity to fill that form that you have sent to them. Can I choose product management as opposed to the product design I chose earlier?
Yes, and it's because of people like this that we have, brought up this new development. We didn't have this section in our previous cohorts, right? So because we do understand that a lot of time has gone by and people are well informed right now, so they might want to, or probably taking a crash course or attended a boot camp, in a learning track, and they're like, oh, I think that I see my career tilting towards this learning track. So there's no problem if you're changing it, it's fine. If you don't want to change it, also fine, right? So you can fill out the form. We'll make use of the new learning track you're indicating on the form to issue out your assessments.
Okay, great. Just based still on that, is it possible for me to change my learning track after the second stage?
No. And this is why we're moving this assessment, this change to this, well, I wouldn't call it change, this confirmation of learning track to this phase before your assessment, because that's the entire point of having the assessment in the first place, right? To check out your foundational knowledge on that particular learning track. So this is the only window that we're going to be, offering, right, for applicants to be able to make any changes or final confirmation they would want to regarding their learning track.
Okay, amazing. So if you need to change your learning track, this is your last chance to do that. So please think about it. Go online, go to our page, go to our Instagram page. During the application process, we literally shared all what you're going to learn and about the learning track that we offer on our page. Go to our Instagram page, go to any of our social media, but I mean, Instagram page will be easier for you to find them, right? So it's
Yeah.
titled Know Your Learning Track. It's titled Know Your Learning Track. So, I mean, you can look out for our Instagram story, maybe later in the evening for you to be aware. Yeah, please do that right. Hi, Tony.
Yeah.
So someone is
Usman,
asking,
can
must
I
the
can I
assessment be
just
done
also
with?
add? Okay, can I just add to that previous question before we move on? So in our emails also we have attached a PDF that speaks to knowing your learning track. So if you do not want to go to the social media page, you can just access that document and read through it. And if you would want to, look through our social media platforms for it, that's also available. Yeah. Over to you, Usman. Can you hear me? We can't seem to hear you.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Great. So someone is asking, must the assessment be done with phone or laptop?
Well, the assessments can be carried out on either of those devices. However, we strongly advise, a lot of things can happen. A phone call can come in that disrupts your network, and so we do advise that you use a device that is most reliable. So what is most reliable for you, right? Your laptop or your phone, make that decision. Use a device that is most reliable. I would advise a laptop, but it depends on some applicants, maybe you don't have access to your laptop at that moment and you really want to take the assessment, you can take it on the phone. It's not device compatible, right? So you're going to be able to access the quiz, the test via any device, but please do take note of your network connectivity and your device reliability, because there's no make-up tests, as we do call it. Yeah, there's no makeover assessment.
Okay. Somebody is asking that it chose data science or data analysis at the first stage of application, but now she cannot. I'm just trying to. I saw that question. I'm trying to put it up on the screen. Okay, when I look
Okay,
for that,
data science and engineering.
so
It
Shenos,
takes
how do I
data.
switch from data science to data analysis? So I'm not
The, the,
sure.
the fellowship program only offers data science and not data analysis, right? But of course, in your journey to learning data science, you'll be taken through the foundational knowledge on data analysis to build up on data science. It's our Women Techsters Bootcamp, which is one program that I'm sure that you're probably familiar with, that offers data analysis, right? So here's why I say you can't switch from data science to data analysis. Data science is what we offer. It's only the Women Techstars Bootcamp that offers data analysis. But in your course of learning data science, you'll be taught data analysis, and then as you now enter fully into um, data science. And in terms of people that are confused between data science and AI, data science and engineering, please, they're the same thing, right? So if that's what you're interested in, take them, and then select your second most preferred. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so Perpetua is asking that, thank you so much. Thank you, Perpetua. My question is, would it be possible to send the preferred tracks we sent earlier in the info you sent? Okay, so I think what she's trying to say is that we should send them I mean, if I have applied for product design, can you please
They
send
want to
me
remember.
that I sent? But I mean, if you apply for a learning track, it's just expected that you know the learning track to apply for. However, scratch that. We are now giving you opportunity. What do you want to do? Whatever you want to do, choose it in the form that has been shared with you. As I said earlier, we are ensuring that we are not leaving all of the application process to machine. It's something we could have just done by automating the entire process and allowing AI to help us choose our candidate. But no, we understand the human feeling into some of these things, and we understand why we have to do it ourselves, because we need to pick the best of the best. So if you want us to start sending you emails individually on the learning track you chose earlier, that would be extremely tedious, and that will not be a good a good use of our time. So please, you have the opportunity to choose a learning track now. Forget whatever you have chosen before. Choose the new learning track you want to go into. And as I said earlier, this is the last time you'll be able to do that. Someone is asking, how many questions in 30 minutes? Do we have a number to the questions, the entire questions, or is it's just random?
About 50 questions, right? Give or take 50 questions in 30 minutes. But not to worry, it's not like I said, we understand that you're coming to learn. So we are not trying to assess you for a job or assess you for an internship opportunity, right? So there's really um no pressure really. Foundational knowledge, as we had said, 30 minutes is the time slot for the assessment. And you would receive full details about the assessment in our emails to you. So just look forward to it.
Okay, yeah. So thank you. Look forward to your emails that you'll be receiving. A quick question. Somebody's asking, are they going to get questions based on their second preferred learning track in the assessment,
No,
or just the first
no.
one?
First, most preferred learning track. Your assessment is strictly based on your most preferred learning track and general basic digital skill knowledge.
Okay, amazing, amazing, great. Um, Another person is asking, um, some of us don't have any idea about our learning track because we're coming from Well, this is, I mean, this the application period is a time for you to start learning about your learning track, because you're expected to have a basic knowledge in whatever learning track you have chosen. I'm having another question. Is it going to be MCQs or is it going to be theory? Is it going to be multiple choice questions or is it going to be theory?
Multiple choice. So you'd be required to select, choose, not theoretical. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, multiple choice. Can one choose different learning skills on both bootcamp and fellowship? I meant for those who got invited for both. I'm thinking this is somebody who also applied for the Women Textiles Bootcamp, maybe 2.6, maybe 2.7. However, kindly note that the Women Textiles Bootcamp and the Women Textiles Fellowship are two separate programs, even though they are under one initiative. So whatever you are doing with the Women Textiles Bootcamp does not affect your Women Textiles fellowship application in any way. So you can decide to learn cybersecurity under the bootcamp, and you can come learn project management or product management under the Women Textiles fellowship. So there are two different things. So it doesn't affect one does not affect the other. How do we know we passed the assessments? Of course, we are going to send you emails after the assessment to know if you, and that email is going to be telling you if you proceed to the next stage or you are disqualified. Maybe you didn't pass, right? Another question someone is asking that I have passed the first stage of application, I have passed the second stage of application, like I passed the
Assessment.
assessment. But what if I got to the interview stage and I didn't pass? Am I going to be disqualified automatically, or you're going to look at my history of passing as a passer to give me the fellowship, or every stage is assumed that you're starting from afresh?
Every stage is not assuming you're starting from afresh, because I mean you would not be here if you had not passed this stage. So you would also not be in the interview stage if you have not passed an assessment stage. So similarly, you also not be in the fellowship program if you have not passed the interview stage. So yes, everything is a roadblock leading to selecting the ideal candidate and ideal beneficiary of the Women Techstars Fellowship. So you have to ace all stages to become a Women Techstar Fellow. So your history is not disjointed, right? It's what builds up to offering you our admission into the Women Techstars Fellowship program. So it's important to pass the entire stage. I mean, you've passed one stage, you're about to pass the second one, and hopefully, you would also pass the third one, and we're ready to welcome you officially join the Women Texas Fellowship.
All right, amazing. Yeah, I mean, okay, because I'm in-house, I won't. When I say what you're about to get into in the Women Textiles Fellowship is a lifetime opportunity. Trust me, it's a lifetime opportunity because as opposed to maybe other trainings you've attended in the past, this is a instructor-led training. Even though it is virtual, but it's instructor-led. It is just like you're going to your classroom every morning to take a class. And I mean, over time, we've realized that's almost like the best form of learning, as opposed to just leaving you to say, "Oh, go do a self-paced training for an intermediate course." So you're getting a life. Please don't go into that assessment on Saturday with that mindset. It's extremely, how would I put it? It won't help you, right? You need to go prepared. You need to, from now on, you need to go back to your drawing board, make research about your learning track, ensure you go over your basic digital skills again. Just look for questions online. I mean, God's willing, you can even stumble upon any of the questions that you'll be getting on that day, right? So just ensure that you plan and practice very well, because definitely we want to have amazing fellows at the end of the day. And yeah, and as this year you understand that we are moving into 22 African countries, and the opportunities are just very much networking opportunity, the classes and all of that. So I won't bore you with that. I mean, it's a stage. Let's just pass the stage. I see a lot of people asking about the interview stage. That what is it going to be like? But I won't allow you to answer that question because this is the second stage of application, and it will be very nice for us to focus on that before we get into. So for every stage of the application, we're going to do info session like this. We are going to ensure that we host an info session like this. Yeah, so just to ensure that we are abreast of what's going on. So another question, someone is asking, after all of this process, when are we going to start the Women Techsters Fellowship officially? I mean, maybe you can just touch on that.
Okay, like we have said, after the assessment stage, we do have the interview stage coming up, right? Um, so you'd understand with me that the interview is a one-on-one interview, meaning that you will be interviewed individually. We're going to be interviewing all applicants, right, that make it to that stage. So it's going to be time consuming and all of that. But we hope that the fellowship starts in the month of September. But of course, you get further communications on when it will officially start. But yeah, interview and then you'll start. So immediately after the interviews, give and take, a month after also, you'll be able to start the fellowship program proper. So you get an actual date and time once you are able to scale through all this process.
All right, great, amazing. So let's look forward to that September plus or minus. And someone is asking, I believe front end and back end web development are different tracks in this application. So you will be tested on the one you choose. So the question should be, so I think the person is asking, first of all, do we have front end and back end differently? And also, which one, if yes, which one are you going to be tested on if you chose the software development learning track? I guess that's what the person is trying to ask.
Yeah, so what we have is software development front end and then software development back end. So two different learning tracks, right? Of course, you agree with me that you know they're slightly similar in some cases, right? So whatever you choose as your most preferred is what your assessment is going to be based on. So yes, we have these tracks separate, not together. It's not a full stack web development, software development front end, software development back end. So different learning tracks.
Great. Another question. I have submitted my learning track. Can I re-edit it again?
I don't understand if the
So
re-editing is it the recent form that she has submitted and wants to re-edit
yes,
it?
yes, yes. You sent the form. So do you want to re-edit that form? Is it possible?
Wow. Um, I honestly want to say no, right? But because we're having this info session here, and I feel like we should give everybody, you know, a second chance in the spirit of you are more informed and you have
Yeah.
more knowledge right now. So go
Right.
ahead and fill in the form again. But it's important to know that you would be having duplicated entries. So we hope we'll be able to take note of your most recent entries to admit to that. So it might be tough, but fingers crossed, we hope we're able to recognize your last entry and make it work for you.
Okay, great. So I think the most important thing is for you to feel what you really want and you feel it right because definitely if you're filling multiple forms, so we might not be able to keep track of your most recent one. And I think there's a ID, unique ID. And
Yes,
do you
application
want to
ID.
speak to the application ID? I mean, I think that's very
Yeah.
important, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So let me just explain why you all have an application ID. Now, because the stages of the Women Texas application, like we have different stages, it's important to be able to match your current record to your previous record and to your final record to when you become a Women Texas, fellow. That's why it's called an application ID, not your Women Texas ID, because you're not a Women Texas fellow, right? You're applying, so it's an application ID. So you can find the application ID in your email. Like anytime an email is sent to you, before you see the salutation calling out your name, the application ID is always at the heading of that email. So that's where your application ID is. So take note of it for each stage of the application till the final stage. For those people that would be moving on to the final interview stage, you'll be required to, um, still know that application ID in some cases. Any form you'll be filling that with us, you have to input the application ID. It helps us to be able to keep track of your responses to your data from all the previous applications to the present application that you have filled. So that's what the application ID is, just basically to be able to keep track of the responses you've had with us over time. It will be changed when you are automatically a Women Techsters Fellow. You will now be receiving the Women Techsters ID, as we like to call it. But for now, what you have is an application ID, not a Women Techsters ID, because you are not yet a Women Techsters Fellow. You are still an applicant. So yes.
Okay, Suzanne is saying she picked the same learning track for both first and second choice. She's so passionate about that learning track. Is that a problem?
Susan, I love your passion. You will not be disqualified for this. However, I would like you to take a rethink, right? Think, and I understand that you're very passionate about that learning track. It's fine. Would give you the assessment in your most preferred, which is your first choice. But just be sure you do not want to have a backup to your second choice. If you say that's what it is, then it's fine. It's your choice, right? But we're not disqualifying anybody for picking the same learning track twice.
All right. Tony, do you want to even share the rationale behind the first and second choice? So just so they are aware of why we are doing this.
Okay. Yeah. So one of the reasons why we allow you to pick a second choice is because we do have a cap, like a class size that we want to have for each learning track, right? We understand that you're passionate about your learning track and all of that, but we do not want to, let you go simply because we can't give your class size is full, or maybe because we can't afford to put you into that class at that moment. So that's why we ask for your second most preferred. So in most cases, when your first choice class size is really full and you passed, but your grades are not looking close to those that really, you can pass, and then there are people that can pass, like really, really pass. For instance, somebody is having 90%, and then maybe you're with a 65 or a 70%, right? And then the class size is full of people that are having 90s, 100, 80s. We don't want to let you go, right? So we want to see if you're going to be fit for your second most preferred learning track. That's why we're asking you to choose the second most preferred learning track, so that just in case you're a really smart person and we want to keep you in the program, we're able to offer you an alternative learning track. If you remember the initial application form that you filled, there was a question that asked if you would be willing to continue with the program if you're not offered your most preferred learning track. And each and every one that is on this call affirmed a yes, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all about building that technical skills that will make you relevant in the job market, right? So that's why we asked you for your most preferred and the second most preferred, so that just in case your class size is full, we're able to offer you another learning track to start your career in tech.
Okay. I don't know. Do we want to? Because I know there's a quota for every question, every all of the applications that we are receiving now for the assessment. So is there like a pass mark that we are looking at?
Yes.
Is this pass mark something that can be reviewed?
No. Unfortunately, it's not something that can be revealed. It's left to our discretion. Yes, but there is a pass mark, of course, but that's left to our discretion.
All right, great. And that what that means is what that means to me is that you need to ensure that whatever you are doing, you're going to that assessment and ensure that you are getting 100. Because when you say there's a quota system for a particular thing, there's cap of 90. Some people are going to get 100. Some people get 95. So if we have a particular number that's supposed to go into a class and we have 100, of course those people will get it. Is it that you didn't pass? No, you passed. But I mean, we have people who go higher than you. So please don't relent. And I mean, it's a good thing that we're not even revealing the number to you. So it helps you to prepare better, and you surpass your whatever cap you have internally. So do we still have questions? I know we answered some of these questions that are coming in again. Please, can we rewatch this recording? Yeah, sure. It's going to be on YouTube. You can always watch it again. To be on YouTube, it's going to be on LinkedIn. It's practically on all our social media except for Instagram. Okay, I guess this part just coming in. So they're asking, is the assessment going to be on your learning track or your second most preferred? So she has asked, it's going to be on your preferred learning track. Somebody's asking, so maybe you answer the question. If I don't pass my preferred learning track, am I going to get another option to take assessment on my second most preferred learning track?
No, you're not. So you have to pass the assessment. There's a cutoff, a general cutoff for the entire assessment. But for some learning tracks, when the class size is full, we look at the pass mark for that learning track. So if you don't meet maybe if you're not a top student in that particular learning track, then you now move into your second most preferred. However, you have to pass the pass mark, the general pass mark for the entire assessment in the first place. So moving you to your second most preferred learning track is not because you didn't pass the assessment, it's because your class size is full and your grades are not matching, the top students in the class, right? So that's what it means. So you're not going to be moved to your second most preferred learning track if you fail the assessment. If you fail the assessment, would be letting you go at that stage, right? So we're not going to be moving to application.
Okay, great. With the assessment, is it going to be timed or is it going to be open? I can do it. I can take it for
The assessment is time-based. It's for 30 minutes.
24 hours.
Okay, so I had mentioned earlier, the assessment is time-based. It's for 30 minutes. However, there's going to be a window. For instance, we can say that the window is a 12-hour window. That means you can either take the assessment from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. or maybe a 3 hours window from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you're on the lookout for your email. So the assessment, however, you only have 30 minutes to take the assessment and you can't take it more than once. It's very important to note that. Let me just quickly, because I see Guraola Rachel just consistently putting out a particular comment about data analysis and data science. I think she's getting confused with the bootcamp and the fellowship. So if you are choosing data analysis anyway, it has to be in the bootcamp. So maybe this is not the info session you should be attending. Data analysis is for the bootcamp. However, for those that are confused between data science and AI and data science and engineering, apologies for that. Please do select in the learning track confirmation form, select whatever has data science. We'll take note of that. So yeah, just before we have Usman back, because I can't see him on the call, I'll look to see if I can see some questions that we have not answered. Okay. So somebody said, is the interview going to happen immediately after the second stage? Yes, so we'll let you know if you pass the second stage and then we'll reach out with the interview details. Now, Angel is saying that she had filled the form already and chose her preferred learning track twice. But with your explanation, should I refill the form? Well, I think that you probably had enough insight to fill the form initially. So if you're not making any corrections, there's no need to refill the form. But please go ahead if you need to make any changes before the form closes. And just for everyone, again, we'll be sending out that learning track confirmation form again today. Like shortly after this call, we'll try to send out the form again. For those that probably did not see the email before, please check your junk, check your spam, check everything that you can check in, as long as it's in your Gmail and all of that. So ensure that you get your email and then you make your confirmation.
Great. So as we wrap, someone's asking if it happens that you have a network glitch during the assessment, what will be the impact or effects? Like, what's going to happen?
So let me strongly advise at this point. I have said it earlier, but I do want to advise at this point. It's important to take note that there is no makeup assessment, there is no makeup test, because we have a timeline, right? And we're trying to stick to that, and we do not have preparations for, having another set of people take another set of assessments, right? So please ensure that everything that you will need, have backup internet supply, have backup power supply, have, just ensure that everything you need is handy. The platform you'll be using is something that would not be easily disrupted by, let me just use that word, right? So we can assure you that as long as you ensure that your internet is great, right? Have a backup internet supply, have your device ready and all of that, you will have a smooth ride with the assessment. And we are putting things in place to ensure that a lot of people are not using the same link, right? So that there's not a lot of lag on the link. So yeah, so you would have a smooth ride, but there's no backup assessment or backup test. So because it is, as I've explained, there's a timeline and we just have to make use of what we have. So please ensure that you have everything in place. I would also do our best to ensure that you have a smooth time, taking the assessment.
Okay, great. That's yeah. I see somebody asking, what about those who have already been accepted? So I want to guess that you're mixing up the Women Texters Bootcamp with the Women Texters Fellowship. People who got, we sent out some a mail saying you've been accepted into the training for the Women Texters Bootcamp applicants. That's for the cohort 2.7. What we are currently doing here is the Women Texters Fellowship Class of 2024 second stage application updates. So nobody has been accepted into the program. Yeah, no one has been accepted. Okay, some questions saying, are we going to get certificates? Can we get jobs with our certificates? Do you want to speak to that?
Okay, yes, definitely. What's a training without a certificate showing that you went through a training, right? So we'll be giving you a certificate to show that you graduated from the fellowship program, and the certificate is only issued to people that graduate. So ensure that you meet all the requirements for graduation if you become a Women Texters Fellow. I think this kind of questions really should be at your orientation and all of
Yeah,
that. But now
yeah.
let's direct our energy towards acing the remaining two stages of the Women Texters application, assessment and interview stage.
Yeah, definitely. So, and if you go through our social media platforms, you see us sharing stories of people getting jobs every day. You can go through them. You see a lot of people have gone through the program, have been able to land themselves an opportunity or another. And someone is asking, what time exactly is it going to be on Saturday? So I know you want to speak to that because I know you mentioned that you were going to, all of this is going to be in the email earlier. So, is there a specific time?
Yeah, so there's no specific time to take the assessment. Like I said, what we are going to give to you is a time window. And what a time window means is that you will have like maybe a 12-hour window to take the assessment. And within that 12 hour, you can choose the 30 minutes within that 12 hour that you want to use. But what I can tell you is that your assessment is going to be for 30 minutes. So the time window will be dependent on us. We can decide to make it 3 hours, we can decide to make it 6 hours, we can decide to make it 12 hours. But that'll be based on our discretion. But you definitely get an email about it. Yes, so do check again, check your junk, check your spam, check your inbox, check all folders that exist in your email. And I just want to add this, Usman. Ensure that you maintain your email addresses across all applications, right?
Yeah.
We had asked you for your primary email address and then your secondary email address. That's ensure you maintain that email across applications so that your information, is not lost along the way because a couple of people will submit one email for assessment stage, they'll submit another email for learning track confirmation, then submit another email, to take the assessment. It's going to probably lead to loss of information, right? Because you are now having different emails that you can't keep track of. So ensure that the email you use in your initial application is what you are still filling across board for any communication with us. I would also ensure that we send your information to the right emails that you have provided.
Yeah. Speaking on that, somebody is asking, which email are we supposed to? Is it Gmail? Is it Microsoft email? Is it Yahoo Mail? But I know whatever you filled from the beginning of the application is what you should use up until the end. For the fellowship, you're going to get a special email when you get to the fellowship. But for now, please, whatever you are comfortable with, and you would usually receive emails on, please, that's what you should keep. You should keep using. So that you don't get to get your application mixed up along the line. Okay, I know we've answered some of this question. Someone is asking, will the assessment be done on via phone or laptop? So you're advised to use a laptop, so you won't get disconnected when you get the call. Um, Can my ID carries my maiden once I'm okay? Someone's asking the question, but it's actually referring to when they are in fellowship. Please get into the fellowship, then we'll sort out some of those questions that you have. For now,
I like
let's
her
do
spirit
the
though. She's already thinking of
yeah,
her problem
exactly.
when she's in the fellowship
Exactly.
program.
I love that energy. Yeah. Is there going to be a study kit? I mean, is there a past question to go through for this? Yeah. So, if said earlier, just ensure you just go through all of your basic digital skills again. And the good thing is currently we have a free digital skills, self-paced digital skills training ongoing. It's the Digital Skills Nigeria for those in Nigeria. I mean, so you can actually go through that. I mean, yeah, you need a minimum of 40 hours to be able to complete it. So go to our Instagram, go to the link in our bio on Instagram, and you would be able to take that course. So it's Digital Skills Nigeria, 40 hours, basic digital skills. Go through it again. I mean, you can be lucky. Some of the things you'll be learning during that time is going to be your assessment. So just as much as possible, just practice, 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 and be prepared for that assessment. Um, I'm looking at other questions. We're wrapping up soon. Um, can I use my phone? We've said this. It's advised. You can use your phone. I mean, but we advise you use your laptop. Are we getting materials to prepare for the assessment? No materials. Just go over your basic data skills and your preferred learning track, most preferred learning track. Um, Okay, I think the questions are just being repeated, maybe probably for those who are just coming in to the session. This session is recorded, so you can always find it on our YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. You'll find it there. So you are covered. You can always go over it and watch it again. We'll get into final stage of the info session. Someone is asking. The boot camp, okay, still same questions. Cut off mark, same question. All right, yeah, thank you. Tony, what are your final words before we wrap it up today? And I hope I'll be seeing some of you in the final stage of the application info session. Where we'll be giving updates like this when you pass your application. You want to see our faces again, put in the energy, put in the work, pass and get it next stage. Yeah, Tony, over to you.
All right, so thank you, Usman. Well, you said it all. Final words, do your best, put your best foot forward. I mean, we had said that to you when you were filling out the application form, and here you are. You did the work, you are here at this stage. So still do the work. You still have a lot of work to do, right? But we trust that your resilient spirit that has brought you this far is sufficient enough to get you into the fellowship program. So we are rooting for you, we are cheering you on. And just in case you received a love letter in quotes, like we love to call it, from us, a letter saying we didn't accept your application, please note, we stated this does not in any way diminish your accomplishments or your qualifications, right? And we had offered you other programs that you can enroll in, like the Digital Skills Nigeria for those in Nigeria, as Usman had mentioned, and also the Women Techsters Bootcamp. Trust me, they are great programs where your tech career can kickstart from, right? So give it a trial. And hopefully we get to meet you again next year, fellowship, if you're still interested, right? So we'll definitely be putting out a call next year. But for everybody proceeding to the second stage of the assessment, good luck. We wish you the very best. And I do hope to see you in another info session to discuss the interview stage, and hopefully to see you at the Women Techsters Fellowship orientation, and of course to see you in class. So good luck, everyone. I'm wishing you the very best, and do have a wonderful.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining us from wherever you're joining us from. We really do appreciate you taking your time to ensure that you are upskilling, and this is very important to us at Tech for Dev. That women in Africa, getting the right skills to help them, upskill and then help them increase your earnings and all of those things, all of those great things that you can do with when you get the tech skills or whatever skills you are getting. Thank you all so much for joining, and see you next stage of application on this info session. Bye.
Hi, my name is Mariamite Brhanu. I am by profession a civil engineer. I've been working in civil engineering for about 10 years now, and I also did my master's in civil engineering. So I learned about the Take for Dave program on Facebook, and when I saw it, I was actually excited because it said a 6 months program. It used to worry me if I joined Take, it would like take me like the usual university programs, maybe 5 years, 4 years. I used to think like that. So when I saw it was a 6 months program, it relieved me. And so I took the exam, and fortunately I passed, which was really great for me. I used to think that it was a complicated thing. Coding, whatever Take courses, I used to think they were very complicated. And when I joined, I learned that coding is simply a language, and you learn just like you learn French, just like you learn English, and then like you learn language to programming language. So that's the first thing, that I learned when I joined the Tech for Dev program. I joined the data science program. So with everything is all about solution giving and all about making good business decisions. So it's all about simplifying things, which really rhymes with my thinking pattern. I learned how to think, I learned how to ask critical questions, and I also learned how to, answer those questions critically and to the point. And I also learned that how I can, with the soft skills and everything, how I can communicate what I have worked on, because there are layman people and there are also people like us. So they have to integrate, in order to understand each other. And that I learned it through visualizations and also through the soft skills. So it was a really good 6 months stay for me. Thank God I managed it. So this seems like how my Tech for Dave story is. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Isra. I'm a clinical pharmacist with a great interest in data.